Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Sunday, July 23rd, 2017. It's still, well, it's starting to clear up a little bit now here. We had quite a bit of rain earlier. I mean, we had a torrential downpour came through, and it was really coming down, so that's not a bad thing though. So not a bad, temperature-wise, it was only in the 70s today. Real muggy though. But that happens. It's New York. We always have the humidity. Anyway, I wanted to do well. First, I got to show you this. This is just insane. I got to show you this first. These freaking tomato plants. Okay, right there is the top of the tomato cage. They're like 2 foot higher past the top of that tomato cage. They've absolutely gone bananas. And here's an example of one of the. It's still green, but you can see right through there the size of that tomato. They're starting to come, so they're coming. And if you look through here, you'll see more tomatoes. And they're growing fantastic. Got a lot of tomatoes and stuff in there, so the garden is absolutely doing awesome. I picked a couple more cucumbers today, so that's been going great too. So I'm actually going to eat a cucumber part of my dinner tonight. But anyway, so I wanted to do a video, and I wanted to talk about mosquito. Sorry. I wanted to do a. Hold on one second, guys. Hopefully that's better. There was smudges on the lens, and I didn't want you guys to have to deal with the smudge. So, what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to talk about medical training and how important is it to have medical training and why. Okay, so let's talk about we can go back to Katrina. We can talk about Katrina and what happened down there with the medical people down there, and what happened when things went belly up. Even in a localized event, you had people just took off, and and understandably so. And I did a video about people not showing up for work for medical and stuff like that. EMTs, firemen, the whole 9 yards. But we're just going to straight up talk about medical people today a little bit, and how important it is for you to get some form of medical training, even if it's only basic first aid. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about with that. Let's talk about a localized event. Okay, so if we have a localized, well, I'm gonna back up a second. Let's talk about a regular Friday, Saturday night at a local hospital in the city on the weekend. Okay, if you've ever been to the emergency room on a Friday or a Saturday night in a local city on a weekend, it is insanity, because shootings, emergencies, your drug seekers, everything just in complete insanity. Okay, so let's look at that microcosm of how crazy that is on a regular Friday or Saturday night. And now let's look at it, and we're just going to use a local disaster first, okay, for an example. On a local disaster, that hospital is going to be 10 times worse because of injuries due to, let's say there was an earthquake, okay? Let's just use that as an example. You're going to have, those hospitals are going to be inundated with people because of injuries and trauma and just the normal stuff, and then throw all the normal stuff on top of it, normal everyday events, and then you're adding on a whole much more. So the pressure on the medical staff in that hospital is they're going to be overwhelmed. So if you have something minor going on, like if you have a minor injury of some sort, the last thing you're going to want to do is go to that hospital, because you are going to be waiting forever, because they're going to focus on the people that are really hurt. Like, they categorize basically, the level of importance of what needs to be dealt with first. And if you have a broken arm, you're not going to be high on that list. So you're going to wait. So, but if you have some kind of medical training, now obviously you're probably not going to be able to deal with a broken arm, but if you have some form of medical training, you can take care of a lot of the minor stuff yourself. With butterfly bandages or whatever, if there's a cut or whatever and stuff like that, and to be able to assess a situation better. So do I think it's important that people get at least basic first aid, absolutely. I think it's a good thing to do. As preppers, as people that are, preparing for whatever event that they believe is going to be coming, to have some kind of a medical background, I think is a huge, huge thing. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to go out to become a doctor or to become an EMT or to become a nurse, but to have some kind of basic knowledge so that you can deal with whatever situation comes up on a smaller scale. It's a good thing to have, just that basic knowledge of what to do. And, again, now I've said this before in other videos as well, you should have some form of medical books available to you, okay? First aid books, how to deal with this, that, or the other thing that happens. There's a lot of information out there, guys, and I don't necessarily say, well, I'll just have it online and have it in a zip drive or whatnot. I think you need to have the hardcover stuff so you can look at it, figure out what you need to do with that. Now, I've had a lot of requests lately, within the last couple of days, people asking for more medical videos. And I definitely do need to do that, and I plan on doing that for you guys. I really do. But it's just, I wanted to talk about this first, and how important I think it is that, especially for preppers, we're getting ready for whatever. A lot of people are prepping for a certain event. I think that most of us are prepping for whatever is going to come down a pipe. A lot of us have that feeling that something is coming, and when it comes, it's going to be a big event, okay? So to be prepped up as best you can and to have medical knowledge is also part of that prep. So having your first aid books, having other medical knowledge, how to give birth, those type of things, we don't have a lot of midwives anymore. So people don't have that basic knowledge of how to help somebody give birth. But if you have that information on hand, you can utilize that information and it's going to help you, and you're not going to panic in that situation. I mean, we have births every freaking day in this country, obviously. So that's going to be something that is a very plausible thing that could happen in an SHTF situation. All of a sudden, Miss Johnson over here has gone into labor. How are we dealing with that? Well, if you have zero knowledge on how to deal with that, you're going to be in a very bad situation, okay? But if you have at least some kind of basic knowledge, or you've looked at books and you have that information even on hand, you can say, hey, listen, we can deal with this, we can walk through this, we can get it done. People do that. I mean, police officers have given birth to people in their vehicles, help somebody, that's gone into labor, help deliver. There's been fathers that on the phone with emergency personnel, and they've walked the father through how to help deliver that baby that's coming right now. So to have some kind of knowledge to know how to do those things, and to have books on hand to help you with that, I think is very, very important. Okay, so it's something that I wanted to go over with you guys, because like I said, something I think is really, really important, to get some kind of training. How to do bandages, know how to do an ACE wrap for an ankle sprain, and I've done a video on that one already. But I will be doing more medical videos for you guys so that you understand, basic stuff. I'll do some basic videos and stuff like that. But okay, like here's something. Okay, now I live in the country, so one of the things that we have to deal with out here in the country is ticks. All right, so how do you deal with ticks? Well, here's an important thing, and I'm going to show you this. Okay, let me pull this up here. This is called a tick key, okay? I think everybody should have this, regardless if you live in the city, if you live in the country. What a tick key is going to do is you're going to take that, and I'm going to use my arm here. You're going to take that key, and say there's a tick on me right there. You're going to put that over the top of that tick, and then you're going to pull down, and what it does is it pulls the whole tick out, head and all, and that's what you want. You want to make sure you get that head out. So the tick is there, you put it in the circle, you push down, and then you pull on that like that, okay? And what that does is it pulls that tick right out. We actually Heather had a tick on her earlier this year, and that's how we got him out. We just, and she discovered it. Oh, Dad, I think I got a tick on me or something. I looked, and sure enough, she had a tick on her. I just used my tick key, I pulled it down, we popped that tick right out, and he was out of there, okay? So she's, so those are things you got to really, just basic stuff like that, having a tick key. You would think, big deal, what's the big deal about that? But that's going to help you get that tick out of there, okay? If you don't have a tick key, it's a lot harder to get that tick out. So that's just something that is an example, okay? Having a tick key, they sell them online, look it up, tick key. I think you can get them for like under $10. I can't remember. I got mine actually from a pet store. So, I mean, there's a good place you can get them. You can get them online. You can go to your local pet store, ask for a tick key. I think it's something that you should definitely have in your preps. You put it on your keychain, guys. You know, put it on your keychain. Women, you got your keychain as well that you use. Just put it on your keychain. It doesn't add a whole lot of weight to anything, but it's a good thing to have if you need to have it. And like I said, living in the country, we do have to deal with ticks, so that's something that's important. Like I said, there's so many different things that are important to have, you know, medically wise, that are not going to be real super expensive and everything like that. So that's just an example, okay? But like I said, I will be doing more medical videos for you guys. Like I said, I've had a lot of requests lately for more medical videos, and I will be doing those. I just had done something recently that now I've been a nurse for a long, long time, okay? And basically when you have to do a blood draw, they usually have a phlebotomist come in, and they're trained on how to draw blood, okay? Well, in my career, I never had that opportunity to draw blood. Well, they changed things at work, and so now the LPNs are drawing blood. And I actually did my first blood draw the other day, which I thought was pretty cool. So anything you can do to better yourself as a nurse or whatnot, that is a cool thing. And so doing that blood draw, I was like, wow, that was pretty cool, you know. So I will be doing a lot more of it, you know, and that's a good thing. But like I said, knowledge is power, guys. And the more you know, the more you can help yourself, the better your situation is going to be, regardless of what that situation is. So anyway, I just want to do this real quick video on this. There will be more medical videos coming. I really got to sit down and kind of map out exactly what I'm going to do as far as medical videos, because I don't want to hammer you with like 5 or 6 medical videos in a row. I want to spread them out along with everything else that I do. And so, you know, I don't want to just be inundated with one thing for a while, because you guys will get bored, and I don't want you to do that. So, but I will be doing that, I promise you. I just really need to sit down and figure out, okay, map out a game plan and go from there. So anyway, listen, I'm going to jump off of here. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys, you know, stayed safe and stayed happy, and because that's what it's about, you know. And like I said, remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day how you feel. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And remember, guys, STD, it's real simple. And, you know, and I've had some people, you know, saying, you know, different things on, you know, in the comments, and, you know, oh, you know, it's easy for you to say that. You're in your isolated little world, and you can be, you know, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time, and, you know, you're happy and stuff like that. Guys, you have no idea what I've been through in my life. You have no idea what I've seen. You have no idea the things that I did when I was younger. I made a conscious choice to get away from all that nonsense and to put myself in a happier place. You guys can do that too. If you are not in a happy place, it is a choice. I get so sick and tired of people making excuses why they can't be successful. It is a choice, guys. I swear to you, it's a choice. You can do whatever you want to do. But when you sit there and you feel sorry for yourself, and poor me, I'm the victim, I don't feel sorry for you, because you've done that to yourself. If you want to make a change, make the change. Now, I know I'm being a little harsh with that, and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just trying to, those people out there that are, poor me, poor me, poor me. Well, you know what? Poor me another, okay? Because if you won't make the change to help yourself, nobody's going to do it for you, okay? There's opportunities and venues out there for help if you want help. If you're in an abusive situation and you doesn't seem like there's a way out, you make the choice and you want to get out of it, there's avenues for you to get that help, okay? So I'm just going to use that as an example. But with anything that you want to do, you can do it. I am a great example of that, guys. I mean, you know, I had people tell me when we first got out here, there's no way you're going to be ready for winter. And my response to them was, watch me, okay? And we did it. We got there. That first winter, we were in the house. We had it where we were warm. We didn't have any issues at all, okay? And we've made things better since then. That's what it's about, working methodically to make your life better. So that's my lecture for today. I apologize, I get on my soapbox sometimes. But anyway, guys, I will see you tomorrow. I hope everybody has, like I said, had a good weekend. And I will talk to you later. And here, look at, I got to show you, buddy, the guardian of the solar panels. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.